Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. And happy Easter if you celebrate. We do a big Easter egg hunt in our yard, but it is extremely windy out here in Maine. So hopefully it dies down a little bit by this afternoon when we're out there playing around. Today is my every Sunday Clearing the Bases episode where I cover all the little bits and pieces that happen in the hobby over the past week. I unfortunately lost my Karen of the Week feature this week because the person deleted their post that, man, they got shredded over it because they were complaining about something on eBay and PSA. And I'm all for complaining about eBay and PSA, but they were wrong. And their post was torn apart by everybody. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. We'll jump right in. I feel like there's quite a bit this week. So let's get started. All right, we'll start off with this Yoshinobu Yamamoto superfractor autograph. And I think the best guess of what happened to this autograph, if you look at it, it's very smudged. It's probably a little Kurtz card care juice, I guess. They were probably trying to clean up the card and messed up the autograph. They probably didn't realize that it impacted the autograph. There's also no penny sleeve in here, so that may have played a part, but I really don't think so. So it's just sitting raw dogged in a top loader, which isn't good. Seller only has 2 feedback. So I think it was listed originally for 4,500 uh, initial bid at auction. And then it even got to the collectibles guru. I mean, just look at, 8,000 is the initial bid initially. Huh. And then, but I Am Meatballs, the legend, discovers that the first feedback from this person was another Yamamoto superfractor. And he notes something feels off here. And it does. When you have 2 sales, 2 feedback, one of them is a Yamamoto superfractor, and you have another Yamamoto superfractor up for sale, it does seem a little interesting. Uh, I don't know. So, um, and then it was restarted. It was canceled at 8,500 or 8,000, whatever that initial auction was. It was brought back at 4,500 initial bid. I don't know, something strange going on there. But that autograph, what do you think happened to that autograph? His little card, Kurt's card hair, Kurt's card care. Okay. This guy, so this is a raw Obsidian Patrick Mahomes Color Blast. Sold for $785 at auction. One that came back authentic from PSA sold for $210 less. So would you crack this if you sent it in and got an authentic? Would you crack it and sell it raw rather than selling it for what you know is going to come in less than raw? All right. Speaking of eBay and PSA, you if you are vaulting with PSA, you can now do eBay buy it now with offers allowed, which is a cool new feature that PSA has. I'm I think I'm going to vault a bunch of SGC slabs that no longer fit in my collection, and then put them up. I was thinking about doing 99-cent auctions. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to send a bunch. And it's not that SGC doesn't fit in my collection because I have plenty of SGC slabs that I love. It's just that I sent all my PSA ones that don't fit, and then I found out that you can also vault SGC and other grading companies. And here's what it looks like in action for the seller, I guess, is you just click on receive offers, get offers from interested eBay buyers, and anything under 50% is auto declined. And now, and this is not an ad for PSA. They do not pay me, nor would I ever take money from PSA. to advertise their services, but I do like this. Uh, buy an ungraded card, and then you can. Uh, we talked about this the last couple of weeks. I think it's $40 to grade, which is a bit pricey, but I kind of get it for the convenience. Somebody made the point though that it's kind of the perfect opportunity for scammers to take bad pictures and mislead in very careful ways because if they say near mint, then it'll get rejected if it's not actually a 7, right? A 7 is a near mint, I think. Yeah. And then Ryan Stadler points out not having eBay definitions of conditions match PSA conditions is an issue. Yes. eBay says one thing, PSA says another about conditions. Not offering rock hard review grades for the service before moving to full grading is an issue. And not offering wiped down services for this option is an issue. Great points by Ryan. I found this interesting. This person says that this left-hand card is 1,500-ish, and what they're talking about is value. 1,500 for the PSA 4, 53 Topps Satchel Page, and then 1,000 for the 1953 Topps SGC 4. And it says, is PSA really worth that much more? And this isn't really that accurate because the PSA is not centered well. And most people who are buying a 4 are probably going to take note of that and pay down. You're not going to pay up, pay average comps for a poorly centered PSA 4. And I talk about this a little bit over on Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. We did a great video yesterday. Dan did a great video, and I was just a participant with Greg of Midlife Cards and Jake of Wax Pack Wisdom. Sorry, Jake. Talking about looking for the right centering and the right copy of a card. And this 4 in SGC, somebody's going to pay up for this. And then Ryan, who's a great seller on Twitter, says it's a bit misleading. The last SGC sale was quite off-center. Last PSA was centered. When both are centered, they sell for nearly the same. The average VCP for a PSA 4 is $14.25, and an SGC 4 is $11.50. So it looks like the last person just grabbed the last sale and called them comps. VCP average is only the last 5 sales. So SGC isn't quite there, but it's much closer than that person implied. I've got the sun shining right in my eyes here looking. I always open my shades right before my video. 2 copies of the same Michael Jordan card sold on the same day. One is a PSA 10. One is a BGS Pristine 10. Sold on the same day. The PSA 10 sold for $5,900. BGS 10 sold for $8,100. Same card. Basically same results. But in the past, this BGS 10 would have sold for what multiple? 3x? And I know the black label is going to get even more. The black label is all 4 subgrades are 10s. It's interesting. And yeah, PSA labeled it uncirculated gold refractor. BGS did not. All right, let's get to some Topps errors because everybody loves Topps errors. They spelled Benedict wrong on the back of this card. You've got it spelled right here, spelled wrong here. Not a huge deal, just careless. Probably, as people have pointed out in my comments, probably written by AI. I pulled this off of Reddit. You can see Reddit user Ben Rice rookie card, aptly named. Topps is this tribute, I think. They cut off Ben Rice's hand in this photo. Wow, I've never had the sun coming in like this. This is crazy. And yes, I will close my curtains to protect my cards in a minute. And then the legend, Auburn35 says it's the missing hand photo variation. And then Ryan, my friend Ryan, real life friend Ryan says at $700 to $800 a box, 6 packs, 3 cards each. But yeah, great quality control. Yep. This is just something to be careful of. A lot of people are taking their photos. I don't remember what the process is, but what happens sometimes is you get your card graded. You know what? I'm going to pause this and I'm going to go close this. And we're back. Am I still sharing? Yeah. So you get your cards graded through PSA and you get your images. And this one came back a PSA 10 originally. And so, some people we've seen go to list them on eBay only to find that they have been dropped in whatever this is, QC2 or post grading. I don't know, dropped to a 5. And this is your final grade. And it's an unfortunate part of the PSA grading process. I've covered this a bunch of times. Just oh yeah, and this was in the reveal. It was a 10. And it feels like a problem when they give you the reveal and it's a 10. They shouldn't be doing that. It does happen, and it's unfortunate in PSA. I feel like PSA should be compensating people when they say your grades are ready, and then in the reveal in the app, they tell you it's a 10. They should be compensating if they drop it down to a 5 later. Neo shared this from Sports Card Nonsense. This guy talked about he spent $30,000 over 5 years of Donruss searching for a downtown. Nothing specific, just any downtown. Never pulled one, ripped 6 sealed cases directly from Panini. So it's laughable when people say you will get one per case. And then he defends himself because people were like, why are you spending so much money? Uh, $30,000 to find a downtown. You can buy a lot of downtowns for $30,000. I don't know what the values of those are, but I feel like you could get a bunch of them. And why? Why would you spend $30,000 in breaks on Donruss? I just don't understand that portion of the hobby. But if he likes it, good for him. He talks about it, how much he enjoys it. All right, Joe Orlando, Beatlemania. The Beatles Trio of 1964 U.S. debut, full tickets with the original envelope. $2 each was what they were paid for, and they weren't able to attend attend the concert. And now they're about to shatter some Beatles records. 887 are the 3 PSA grades. Really cool item. I'll be following this. All right, this is where we go a little bit off the rails, and I am sorry to do this to anybody who's been around for a while. We're getting to the card grader AI portion of the video, and you can see it's funny right over here. Card grader AI follows me, and it suggests that I follow him back, and I'm not going to do that. I've this is not something I enjoy, but I'm going to cover it really quickly here. This person says he's been playing around with ChatGPT and how it can grade your cards for you. Not grade them, but give you an idea of what the condition is like. It tells you an estimated grade. And this does feel kind of like what Card Grader AI was doing. And somebody wrote, this post is giving me Card Grader AI vibes, and I am shook. And they tagged Card Grader AI in it. And he said, oh, ChatGPT finally integrated my tech after they bought it. And remember, now he's scrubbed all his tweets, but he said that a major company in the hobby space had bought his tech. And now he's claiming that major company is ChatGPT. I will say this looks very, very much like what Card Grader AI was doing. So it's very possible. But the fact that he hadn't announced it already and was just like, oh wow, they're live. Seems odd. And it gets odder. He then tweeted out saying, "And we're live. Thanks for the support, OpenAI." And OpenAI owns ChatGPT, and their CEO is Sam Altman. And somebody says they bought a piece of junk because you can see here this Tatis has a big print line, maybe even a crease. It's hard to say, and it says that it looks great. The card looks great. And he says now he blames them. Yeah, they botched the integration. Too cheap to buy the fully model, whatever that means. And then here's another one. They call this card sharp and clean when it's got terrible edges, terrible back. It's got all kinds of issues. And then he said, somebody asked him about Sam Altman, and he claims, Sam and I had lunch last week, and he tries to prove it by including Sam Altman in his AI generated image. Moving on. More Topps debut patches. When a rock star has their debut at WWE, superstar has their first match on Raw or SmackDown, they will wear the corresponding debut patch on their gear. And then it'll be placed into a one-of-one trading card. So I like the debut patches. You know, I like these. These are cool. I'm not a wrestling guy at all. Don't collect wrestling cards, but it's a fun new addition. All right, we have the 1961 Fleer complete set. I always enjoy seeing these. These are all mid-grade, up for auction at Heritage, currently at $5,700. And then this is That's Too Many Baseball Cards is an article. I'll include this in my newsletter. It's about the proliferation of parallel cards. I'll put this in my newsletter, junkmaxhero.com. Got a couple of other things here as well, like this Georgia man charged with forgery, theft of trading cards. This guy was on The Chase, David Adams' The Chase podcast, where they talked to him about they interviewed him about his amazing custom card design business. And now he's charged with forgery and theft of trading cards and trading materials. And here he is, handsome dude. He was reported by where is it here? I believe the company that he has fraudulently taken the design from. So whether that's Panini or Topps or whoever, I believe he was reported by them, and he's got a lot of problems. He owes $67,000 to a printer company. Yikes! So there he is. If you need some nightmare fuel. Here's another article I'll include. I think this is actually a video. It's Gotta Trade 'em All. Pokemon cards see resurgence in popularity. And then here's another one. Ball from the final out of the 86 World Series hits the auction block, carrying an $80,000 estimate. Baseball signed by Gary Carter and Jesse Orosco. Cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, this is the 1982 to 1996. Well, I think this is 82 to 93. These guys, Grand Slam Collectibles, collected all of them from 82 to 93 autographed. It took them 23 years. And this is what I'm trying to do, except I'm doing 82 to 96. And except I'm only doing Hall of Famers. And I'm at like 25 or 30% done. There's some tough ones, like Tony Gwynn's a tough one. So good for them. That's really fun. Yeah, 82 to 93. And then, oh yeah, this guy has this image here. Bought a card, said, "Thanks for the card. Quick question. You charged me $3.91 for ground advantage shipping, but you shipped in a plain white envelope." The seller said, "I had the card priced at over $20, but it didn't sell. I lowered the price and kept the shipping the same so I wouldn't lose too much, which I did. I bought the card for $10 thinking it would sell for more, but I ended up losing." This is just such a weird thought process to me. I just can't get my head around, "Well, I'm gonna buy this $10 card." And I know there's a lot of people do this. A lot of people that I respect and like a lot do this. There's no criticism of doing this part of it, which is I'm gonna buy something for $10, flip it for $20. But then when you realize $20 is too much, you drop the price, but increase the shipping. Well, they didn't increase the shipping here, but they kept the shipping at $4, but then only spent $1 on shipping. It's just such a weird, it's shady. Let me know what you think. All right, then we have this James Wood card, and we've talked about this like a year ago or whenever they announced these 6 to 9 months ago, maybe. They've now put a stamp on first card, and it looks like this was pulled. First card. This is the first card of the print run, and so you know which was the first one. And I'm wondering, do you care? It's another Topps gimmick, which they love gimmicks. It's another thing for people to chase, another thing for people to collect. This would not do anything for me, but I understand if some people like this. Let me know what you think about this. And these cards, the first base card, and are numbered 1 of 1. It's the same card as all the others, but it is the first card parallel, I guess, because it just says first card on it. So it's a new 1 of 1. These are in 2025 Series 1. Refractor Jones posted this, and he didn't say whose unit this was, but this is a Super Bowl trophy from a former pro. Lost their storage unit, and it was sold for $600. And you can see all the stuff in here. Looks like a former Steelers player. And yeah, $600, and they lost their Super Bowl trophy. All right. I wonder if Chris Sewell has seen this yet. This is, of course, the Charlotte O's 1980 Cal Ripken Jr. Police orange border card, which is already extremely rare, but they've made it even rarer by getting Ripken to autograph it. Card came back at 2, autograph at 10, and this to me is the perfect card to get autographed because the card is already in poor condition. You're not going to risk a potential 10 to get it autographed. All right. Now, this is just this past week was Jackie Robinson's debut anniversary. And this is the program from that day at Ebbets Field, scored by the fan who witnessed history. Very cool. Great piece of history. Top says this MLB prospect has the most baseball name ever. That's true. His name is Ichiro Kano Hernandez. So his parents must have loved baseball. And this is the fun portion of the video. We have a complete 2024 Topps Stadium Club red foil set. That's got to be tough to collect all of those. Favorite set he's ever worked on, Ron says. Very cool. I love these things. That's fun. And then we have the first dual autograph of Shohei and Trout, not as teammates. Speaking of dual autographs, we now have dual autograph coming up in 2020, well, whatever this year is, 2025 Topps Tribute. And I say that because sometimes they're behind with certain sets, but it's probably 2025. One of one here. Ken Griffey Sr., Ken Griffey Jr., dual autograph. It's a great looking card. I pulled this from eBay. Somebody sent this to me a couple days ago. $10,000 is the listing price. And they call this is a pretty common card, but they call it an off-center error card. I did not know that cards that were off-center were worth so much. I've been paying more for cards that were centered well. How silly of me. And then this dual autograph, Bartolo Colon and Gary Cohen. And Gary Cohen called that epic first home run for Bartolo. Great dual autograph, also in tribute. It is 2025. There you go. Thank you, Topps. And lastly, this guy, this looks like AI to me. This looks like an AI image, but I don't think it is. This guy, Topps 1000 packs on Instagram, won 1000 free baseball card packs from Topps during baseball opening day contest. And he is posting them on Instagram as he opens them. So that's pretty fun. Good for this guy. I'll include him in my newsletter as well. And that's it for today. Hope you guys had a great morning, great Easter, and I will see you all very soon.